Hey y'all. So I'm trying something new, different setting, different format. But the Lord's really been pressing on my heart to discuss my journey. I feel like as people, a lot of times we get so caught up in looking a certain way, thinking a certain way, that we don't tell our story. But to be honest, what if your story is the key to someone's glory? You know? Let me say that again. What if your story is the key to someone's glory? And so I really just want to come on really quick and discuss. So basically, I'm going to be talking about my journey of unemployment and how God has brought me through that. So stay tuned. But so it all started last year, like end of 2024. Um, I was originally gonna move to Dallas, Texas. Um, to make a long story short with that, it fell through. I had a job lined up and everything. The move just did not work out. It all just fell apart, right? And so I was like, okay, you know, and by that, mind you, by that point, I had already left my job that I had currently been working, and I considered transferring, with that job. But even in that, the position, or I guess you could say promotion, that I was seeking to get in that transfer, the positions had already been filled. So I was like, okay, I don't want to stay in my current job because I wasn't making enough anyway. And then on top of that, I didn't have a car. So I had the expense of Uber and Lyft, which was like $250 to $300 a month by itself, just to get back and forth from work. And I was just like, okay, I don't I was like, I don't know what else to do but to just find another job. I did what I knew to do, right? And immediately, in mind you, I've never had a problem getting a job. I've like I'm a great employee. I have a lot of skills. I have a lot of soft skills, transferable skills. And I know how to really sell myself. And because I am quite charismatic and friendly and approachable, I typically don't have an issue getting a job, especially an interview, right? And so, y'all, I kid you not, I put in about 200 to 300 applications. I got denied or ghosted from every last one of them. And that's how I knew I was like, okay, this isn't a job issue. This isn't a money issue. This is a heart issue. This is a very spiritual issue. And God wanted my attention, and he got it in a way that he knew I would pay attention, because obviously I was a worker bee. Work was my top priority. I wasn't that kind of person. I'm not just gonna call out just to call out. Work was, I guess you could say, work was my idol. And so, you know, I end up not getting any of those jobs. Um, and so it was about November. I end up going back to church, because in the midst of me working my previous job, I just didn't. I didn't prioritize church. I didn't prioritize volunteering or anything, right? And my excuse was always, oh, well, I have to work, blah, 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 right? And so I was like, well, I don't have to work. Let me go to church. And I really enjoyed it. I loved every second of it. That's my church home to this day. Like, I serve in the church. I've met a lot of new people. I've been able to network and like just really have a church family. And I never thought I would. Like, to be transparent, I never thought I'd have a church family. And so it was basically an answered prayer that I wasn't seeking to be answered. And so I January comes around. Mind you, my birthday's in January. I turned 25. I was like, okay, now what? Back in December, I asked my parents, my mom. So when I say my parents, I mean my mom and my stepdad, just for context. And so I asked them, I was like, hey, there's this course I want to do. I've been hearing about it for a few years. I was like, I originally was going to do it, but I just didn't have the money to do it at my previous job. And I was like, would y'all be willing to pay for it and I pay y'all back, basically? Like, would y'all be willing to pay for it? And they were like, let us discuss it amongst ourselves and like blah, blah, blah. And, then we can come with a plan. I was like, great. Okay, cool. And so they end up saying yeah. And um, so with course careers, it like they offer financing or you can just pay in full. And so I was like, which one do y'all want to do? Blah, blah. And they were like, we'll just do financing because the financing was super easy. Like, it's literally 4 biweekly payments. Like, that's it. Just 4 biweekly payments. And that's it, you're done. Like, no interest, nothing like that. It's not crazy. And so I go through the course and everything. I'm learning a lot. And y'all, I was locked in. I kid you not, I was so locked in. And mind you, all of their courses are self-paced. Like, so you can literally complete it in the time frame that you want to complete it, XYZ, and it's literally at your convenience. And I I locked in because like I said, I'm unemployed. I really want this to work out, XYZ, right? And so I end up going ahead. It was the average completion time was like, I think 8 to 12 weeks. Y'all, I finished it in like a good 4. Like, finished the main coursework and the exam within 4 weeks. Like, that's how locked in I was. And even now, I'm like on track to finding a work from home job that works for me because initially I was kind of going back and forth. I didn't really know what kind of job I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted to look for. I was like, do I want hybrid? Do I want on site? Do I want remote? And I ended up deciding, I was like, well, if I do remote, then I can still, you know, have time and flexibility to keep serving in church because that's still my priority, especially as a woman of God. Like, I want to keep God at the forefront of what I do, right? And so, yeah, and even now, like with my church family, speaking with them, networking with them, like they're even giving me ideas like, oh, okay, so here's how you do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, here's, like they're giving me tips, they're giving me wisdom, and it couldn't have worked out any better. Like, it genuinely could not have. So definitely, if you are in a career change, if you don't know what to do next, if you know that you just in general don't really like your career, but you also don't know what else to do, course careers, they let you do in like free intro courses because there's over 12 different courses. I think there may be more, but there's a lot of different avenues you can take. And so you do a free intro course. It's just 3 videos, and you see whether it's something you would be interested in or not before you pay your money. And yeah, I would never go back. I literally would never go back. 100%, it was the best decision I ever made in my life. And even too, when you use my referral link, you also get $50 off. So I'll have that linked in the description box below so you can check it out. But thank y'all for listening. And I love y'all. Talk to y'all later.